Start.
Hello student, today we are going to see our drama section, the last section of the textbook. The section number 4, 4.1, the title of that genre or drama is History of Novels. Within History of Novels, today we are going to see the part number first. How the novel, what is the concept of novel, what types of history of the novel, how it comes, what is the back reference of the history. We will see the detail with the help of that from 18th century in our India. Example like a Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay is first written. He has written first novel that in 18th century that is the gifted in English literature. Today we will see the basic part of the novel, how it comes and how to it spread. We will see the 18th century has gifted English literature two entirely new forms. There are two forms of the novels in our English literature. The first is the periodical essay, second one is the novel. So, we will see the novels. The word from novella, it's come the novel. Novella means new. New means that the novel is new. A novel is a relatively long narrative fiction which describe the intimate human experience normally in a prose form. Novel is in novel relatively long. The narrative fiction which describe intimate. In novel, there are some intimate human experience normally in the prose form. How it describes in the novels? There are some characters, there's some imagination, the villain also, some spots in the how the novel is, the structure, the plot, the theme of the novel. We are looking different kinds of points in the novel. The novel as a literary genre has history of about 2000 of years. It is the something reference which reference from nearby 2000 years. It has something specific history in our English literature. That is why how the novel is originated as the literary forms in England. In England, in London, the from the novel is originated. That is why in our English literature, in Indian English literature, that how the role of the, what is the role of that novel. So, see in our parts. The part first, the 18th century has gifted the English literature two entirely new forms which are without any stresses in ancient classical heritage. One of those who was periodical essay and others were novel. Both of these forms, especially in novel, caught the spirit of the 18th century as the age of intellectual, sentimental and realistic plans and tried to instant the readers which would help him to more purposeful and vigorous. Since the time of the origin, novel has been gaining popularity and growing gradually. Today it is the recognized as the most dominant literary genre. The main source of the novel is from 18th century in our English literature. That is why from the novel that how these both concepts are in the 18th century, it comes in our India. Novel is the relative long narrative fiction which describe intimate human experience, normally in a prose form. The present English novel is derived from the Italian novello, meaning new. The novello narrates the story, embellishing more details, time, place, nature, people, their minds, their gestures and characters. According to these descriptions, we can say that how that these narratives of stories that it is necessary, time is necessary. Place, nature, people, these objects are necessary for creating the novels. That is why in our English literature, the gestures in novels and many activities, it creates the pictures of the society of that time in 18th century. Novel makes it live, easier and understand than in drama and poetry. These two factors, drama and poetry. How it is the divided? In modern era, novel has adopted literary prose. In the time of the era, it adopted the literary prose. And the role of drama and the role of poetry, it's come from the literary that novel. The novel as literary genre has the history of about 2000 years. Among the early prose, that the novel collection of tales known as the Greek romance dating from the 2nd 6th century may top the list. These imaginative and delightful stories of ideal loves and marvelous adventure profoundly affected the creative writing for the next 1000 years. Though novel in modern era usually makes use of literary prose, earlier threads of the genres can be found in Virgil ecology. The man is more the day author in Geoffrey Chaucer the Canterbury Tales. In Canterbury Tales, in the novels in the time of that 18th century, that how in Muraski she tale of the Genesis from the 10 to 10 has been described the world's first novel. The European novel is often said to begin with the dawn. Spanish writer meant to creative, which was published in two parts of 1625 and 1615. In the 18th century, the appearance of the newspapers and magazines attached to large numbers of readers from the middle class. These new readers had little interest in romance and tragedies, which were appreciated by the upper class. Thus, need a new type of literature arose which express the ideas of 18th century. The 18th century has literature and characterized the spirit realisms and the denials of romantic features like enthusiasm, passions and imagination. The four grounds for the novels and prepared by all these factors after 1740. Novel originated a literary form of increased the trades and commerce along with the industrial revolution. There are many revolutions in our history. That history tells how it is a changes from and given rise to middle class, a class of people which emerged to occupy the enlightened status, the realistic pictures. Everyday life and problems of common people depicted the novels appealed to the new educated class and was regarded them as respectively regarding materials. Thus, novel has the forms of appears of has been designed from the vice and aspiration of lower classes and meet their language. The spread of machines could provide to time to educated middle class from reading and discussion about the book. Drama and poetry were the two literary forms were fading away. Now, novel was the combination of some features, then some features were added to the form. It was the prominent form in the 18th century and onwards. Encompassed the social, political, and cultural happenings, the scientific progress. So, these two factors were available. The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan, 1678, in 1688, they initiated the Plato's and colorful tradition of English novels was followed by Daniel and the Johnson Swift's in Gulliver's Travels, famous satire. Others major novelists in 18th century were Samuel Richardson, Pamela or Virtues Rewarded and Classica and the Epistolary, Henry Fielding's Lawrence Terence and the tradition was enriched by many others. Novelists such as the Charles Dickens and Walt Scott and Nathaniel Hawthorne, Horace Walpole, Thomas Henry, Vicky Collins and H.G. Wells. In 20th century, they are marked by the modern topics and innovative styles and techniques and widen angels of viewers to novelists E.M. Foster, James Joyce, Joseph Carnot, Henry Jones, George Orwell, Graham Gill, D.H. Lawrence, William Golding, and Anthony Burgess. In this great pageant, how it is the political, in a social or cultural encompass the happening scientific process of the novel. So, in this passage, we are how there were great novelists, dramatists, and how they have taken the roles, what types of roles there into making the different kinds of novels. And these novels were not only written, they were famous also. Indian Scrano, Ramanand, wives by the Bankim Chand Chaturvedi, serialized in the Indian field was the first novel in the English literature written by the Indian. The period of that made by two Morse novels written by the Indian writers. These novels are more either nationalist, virtuous, social issues and their main frameworks, Mukhar, Anand and R.K. Narayan Rajarao, the major trio who prevailed in the period after that, novelists like Anita Desai and Nayan Sehgal and Sarjun Joshi and Manohar Manegaonkar and change the current of Indian English novels through their works. Amit Ghosh and the Vikram Seth and the Chatterjees. The Indian novel English by adding these features and recent years have witnessed the dazzling performance by the novella. So this is how these elements of the hearts of darkness of Joseph Card, the terms of these such types of famous novel list were at the era of 18th century. In the first part, actually the introduction of the novel, how novel comes in the 18th century and how it spreads. Some Indians dramatists also taking parts in the making different kinds of novel. That is why in our introduction, first parts, section 4, already the first, how it originated from England and what is the reference of what is the history of novel, we are in a short. That is why in novel, how these characters and different kinds of subjects are connected each other, and with the help of this novel, nowadays we can see in our India there are many novelists, they are writing such types of novel. Thank you.